Hello ladies and gents, PepperBelly here, bringing you guys some more Red Faction Guerrilla, and with good reason, again. And you guys may have recalled I made a video about Red Faction Guerrilla a while back, in August, I think it was August 1st actually, and I was talking about how the game was on sale and how it's definitely worth picking up. Well, now even more so than ever because of the recent mega awesome update that they just came out with for this game that completely overhauls it to be significantly more improved than it ever has been before. So I'm going to quickly address every minor and major improvement within the update, and I'm going to go through the list, and I'll also have the patch notes actually in the description of the video so you can actually see it within detail if you want to look at it there as well. So, first of all, they added Steam trading cards, which is neat. I've never really been a fan of trading cards, I don't really see the point of them, and some people do, some people really love them, so all the power to them, since they have now been added. So probably one of the biggest changes that's been made to the game is how it's rendered, and that's using DirectX 11 now. They implemented that instead of using DirectX 10. But however, DirectX 9 is still available to launch the game with if you have issues for whatever possible reason as a backup. I also think the implementation of DirectX 11 actually added some new graphical features because I've seen that ambient occlusion and light shafts are now an option, which they could have been there the whole time. I've never seen them before. I think it's kind of a new feature since they added and implemented DirectX 11, which was kind of nice. So the game does look a little bit prettier now, which is actually kind of nice. It's not like significantly better, but it does look a little bit better. Now this is probably the biggest change to the game, which is probably the most significant and probably the most prominent, probably the best change to the game. One of the things I mentioned in my last video, which was a mandatory part that came with the game, is now been removed, and that's games for Windows Live, which is amazing. The game has been completely converted over to Steamworks, so games for Windows Live isn't even in the equation at all anymore, which is freaking awesome. And in fact, whenever you launch the game, it'll actually attempt to migrate all your saves from games for Windows Live over to your Steam file, so into the Steamworks version, so that you actually have it. You can continue your playthrough through the Steam client instead of having to use games for Windows Live. That's pretty damn awesome, and I'm extremely ecstatic about that because games for Windows Live was one thing that usually turns a lot of players off. Again, like I've said in my last video, I never really had problems with it personally, but some people didn't really like it that much or had issues signing in or whatever the case may be. Well, now it's completely out of the way. You don't have to deal with that at all because now it's a Steam edition game. It's built on Steam's platform, which is fucking sweet. So, if you've ever were holding off because of that one particular reason, now you have no excuse because now it's like the game has been updated significantly and more optimized to just run a lot better than it has in the past. Like now they have host migration, so the game doesn't use dedicated servers. It never really did use dedicated servers to begin with. But now there's host migration, so if the host leaves, the game doesn't just end, now it'll actually like transfer over to somebody else. In this particular gameplay, I'm the host, and the way you can find out is by simply looking at the scoreboard, or at the beginning of the match, you'll actually be in the lobby and you can see whoever has the little crown next to the name is usually the guy who's hosting the entire game. So you can kind of get an idea. And it plays well, you know, like the game plays a lot better now. So they do have push-to-talk voice chat now, which I don't think was there before. It's a new implementation. It uses the Steam client for that as well. Also Steam offline mode, which is great. You know, you don't have to be signed in anymore. You can play this game in offline mode. That's a huge factor that some people just really despise that they weren't able to do before because of games for Windows Live, you know, how they... It's not really the best client ever. And they added some new maps, all the DLCs. They fixed the mouse acceleration issues with some of the vehicles, like the walkers in the game. They also added joining in progress, so if there's already a match in progress, you can join through the client, through the matchmaking lobby, because they don't have like a server list that I could see. It's just matchmaking. You just kind of pick your playlist and it'll just find you a game. If there's one already in progress, it'll just throw you into that, which again is a lot better since it'll keep players more, keep players actually playing the game other than just waiting around for games and separating the player base, which is not what you want to do. So this is a huge improvement, guys. Like, a massive improvement. I love Red Faction Guerrilla. I said it in my last video. It was a really, really sick game. It's so much fun, given what it is. Insanely detailed, destructible environments, chaotic multiplayer, and it's got a pretty solid single player as well, which actually kind of reminds me a little bit of Far Cry. Like, I don't want to say it's Far Cry-esque, but it kind of is, because it's an open world game and it's filled with enemies, and you gradually take over certain sections of it and push the enemies out. And actually looking at the map and looking at the way the game plays, it's pretty similar in a lot of ways, which is kind of good. Except it's third person, and you got more explosions and insanely destructible environments, and you got your sledgehammer, which you can just beat fools down with. It's pretty great. So I definitely recommend it, guys. It's on sale for $3.39 or your regional equivalent. It's not quite the same as it was last time when it was on sale for $2. However, it is still definitely worth it, especially with these new changes and updates that have been implemented into the game to make it better. My name is PepperBelly. Thank you guys for joining me, and I will see you guys on the next one.